All right, Black Power, we in the house. We in the house, family. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Come on up out the slumber. I know Big Seti been off the internet for about a week and so, you know what I'm saying, plotting and planning my strategic conquest. You understand what I'm saying, of the known world. Wake up. Wake up, Negro. Black Power to my family out there. Let me get my family on the. Let me get a monitor going right quick because we're getting busy. We're getting busy today, all day, straight up, all day. Next 3-4 days. Watch what I'm telling you. They say Seti ain't been on the internet, nigga. Yeah, watch this. Watch me come in the goddamn fourth quarter, nigga, and score 50. This nigga come out of nowhere, doing the impossible. Today we're gonna be talking about the Immortal Imhotep. That's right. Get my monitor up here. The Immortal Imhotep. Let me see. Well, let me get it popping. Trying to get my monitor up here. I can't get my monitor popping. What's going on here? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Peace, family. Okay, I got my monitor up. Y'all been waiting. I know you have. Sometimes you gotta take a break. You gotta take a break. You know what I'm saying? So you can, refresh the mind. You feel me? King Oz in the house. What's popping with you? Okay, that's what's up. I got me one of my king moderators on post. Okay. 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 The brother say he pulled over for 30 minutes. That's good. All right then. Well, let me go ahead and get to work because I don't want to been off for a minute. You know how I could do, but I want to stay to the message. Today we talking about the Immortal Imhotep. Nah. For my family out there, let me get my my visuals pop. Okay, let me get my visual pop. So when I do go to them, they hear from me. Okay, now for my family out there, it's a lot of information that been put out by about Imhotep. Now, the thing about Imhotep is, as he wasn't a royal. Okay, he's probably the most popular or the most internationally known individual from ancient Egypt that wasn't a royal. You know what I'm saying? He was the high priest of the craft of Ptah. And when we talk about Ptah, we hear about a lot of the great deities of ancient Egypt. But Ptah was the first supreme deity of ancient Egypt. Okay, as we can see early on, and even from the Narmer's palette, if y'all go back and we dealt with Narmer, you understand what I'm saying? When Egypt came into existence, Ptah was the supreme deity. Okay, and when we talk about the Great Pyramids, and predominantly the Pyramid Age, was under the worship of Ptah. Okay, a lot of people don't want to bring Ptah out because there's some significance in Ptah being, represented as a Twa, a little short African. You know what I'm saying? And when you're dealing with the European and his racism, he usually show the little short African as being nothing more than a play toy for the Egyptians. You know what I'm saying? Shown, as, playing music. You know what I'm saying? And even shown as two different racial types. You're going looking like a lot of the early history books. and we'll see you'll see white Egyptians, and then you'll see the little twa, what they call the pygmy. Okay, what they call the pygmy. You understand? But that's a derogatory term. And we don't want to, use derogatory. If you go into Africa today, you look up the term twa, TWA, and you can find the twa still located in parts of the Congo, around the Great Lakes region of Africa, Lake Victoria. You got the Great Lakes twa, and so you got them all through the Congo, all through the rainforest. You see what I'm saying? And that's significant. When you're talking about Imhotep, because you understand, when you look at Imhotep, which I will show, and I usually warm up with, some lecture before I get off into the photo. When you usually look at Imhotep, he don't look to be that tall himself. He's a little short fella. You know what I'm saying? And I put in there, Enoch, you know what I'm saying? The Melchizedek, Solomon, all of these are mimics of the great Imhotep. You see what I'm saying? When you're talking about all these, these so-called, mysteries, mysteries of Enoch, mysteries of Melchizedek, mystery, which mean it's some magic, and some hidden secrecy, and spells and all of this. And we have to understand that, one of the subjects in which the Egyptian priests were highly profound in was magic. You know what I'm saying? At that time, medicine and, and chemistry and all the sciences at that time, and even still today, is an aspect of magic. You understand what I'm saying? That's why when the European, seen, them women and shit and men who had, the ability to do herbal, herbal medicine, and, they call them witches. You know what I'm saying? They had any science of chemistry, they call them witches. So, one of the subjects and an Egyptian priest was learned and at a minimum of 12 subjects, plus they had their skill, their major skill in which, they did their daily services. You see what I'm saying? Mace, when you're talking about bricklayers or stonemason, they were also priests. They were trained in the priesthood. Okay, so, when you're talking about the sacred geometry and sacred calculate, that's where you went to get any type of the higher sciences. You had to be accepted into the priesthood. Okay, so that was one. And so we're not just talking about niggas that jaw jack. We're talking about there was really no separation between the spirituality and the secular. You understand what I'm saying? It was no separation. You know what I'm saying? So you were also a priest, and you were held to a high standard, and you could be a lawyer. Even the captains of ships, trained in navigation, that was taught in the mystery system. Okay, so when we talking about Imhotep was one of those great iconic high priests of the early ancient Egyptians that even, took the mysteries, took the spirituality of Ptah to its highest level. And it also included, magic, medicine, architecture, all of that. You couldn't carve, when you go into most of, if not all of the structures, they got sacred writings on them. You understand? That let you know that the Masons was also priests. You see what I'm saying? Imhotep was also what you term a multi-genius. He's the first multi-genius known in history, because not only was he a profound architect, which we're going to show, built the world's first stone structure. Okay, I hear all these motherfuckers in the Bible That some Hebrews built this, and some Mesopotamians, and some Indians. Even when we talk about India, they're very disrespectful to the Grand Master Africans that laid down architecture tens of thousands of years before an Indian even walked on the planet. Okay, I'm sick of that. You know what I'm saying? You niggas join these peoples, and and facilitate the lie on your own people. Okay, they not even running a close race to African people. When we dealing, they tend to speak as if they ancient. They not ancient at all. Now compared to African people, they not ancient. You understand what I'm saying? They might be ancient compared, and they ain't even really ancient to European, because they running around the same time period. You see what I'm saying? They all come about them caves, seriously around the same time. Okay, what you see today, the Indian, before that it was the Hindu Kush, the Naga Kush, long before they got there. So when we talking, we got to understand that there are worlds that existed tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of years before this world we living in. People think the world started today or yesterday or just 1,000. No, it did not start at 0 AD with the death of a mythological Christ. It did not start then. You understand what I'm saying? That's just the age of the Caucasoid. When the Caucasoid came, and the crazy part about it, when you think about it, if the man thought he had a history at any time before 0 AD, goddamn it, why would he have started his time period in just 2,000 years ago? That don't make no sense. If he was a more ancient man, he would have given full proof of how ancient he was by true calculations of his ancientness, his history, his civilization. He had no civilization before his contact with the African. And so when you start your shit at 0 AD 2,000 years ago, that's just about right. Talking about Imhotep building the world's first stone structure, which is the pyramid of Saqqara. You understand? We talking about skyscraper. We're not talking about no mud hut. And it's been standing now, constructing that building around 3000 BC. Okay, and so here it is, 2000 in some odd years. So the building been standing approximately 5,000 years. So you talking about a high science. You understand? To build something, it ain't shit that ever coming out of the ancient world of a Greek. The Roman got a few things, but they come, 2,000-3,000 years after the Egyptians. Okay, when you're talking about 3,000 years, the Roman don't come into around 0. So you talking about 3,000 years, actually the Romans is closer to the modern time than they is to Imhotep. That just show you how ancient Egypt is. And then we're not even going into Nubia. We ain't gonna even do that right now, because that'll just blow our fucking mind. You know what I'm saying? So understanding that this great high priest, architect, physician, you understand, of highest note. You understand what I'm saying? Had to get on old DJ, fake ass DJ Vlad, the goddamn vampire, talking about he don't respect Dr. Sebi because he ain't got no license or no degree from the European school. That cracker don't understand. And I had to go on and get that razor and shave his back, because he don't understand, you beast. You don't understand, because you's crawling in them caves. We don't judge our standards and our greatness by the Caucasian that just come up out the cave just 2 days ago, and damn near 2 days from going back up in the motherfucker. You understand what I'm saying? And so we got great Imhotep, the world's first physician, before there was a European nation on the planet. 3,000 years before any the Greek is around 0 AD 2. We're not gonna get ain't no ancient Greeks. They didn't even have an alphabet until they come into Egypt. So the white man's gnosis, or his beginning, started with his connection with ancient Egypt. All of that mythological shit before his connection with ancient Egypt is just that. It's a fallacy. I don't want to hear nothing about no Aristotle, no Socrates, none of that. Don't want to hear it. You're lying. Did not have an alphabet, did not have no science. Can't find a tomb for one Greek king. You understand? This is how where the tombs for them. Where's these great megalithic structures from 1000 BC? You don't have it. You understand? All the little temples that you do have is within that time period of your first connection with ancient Egypt. So when we're talking about this great Imhotep, you understand what I'm saying? That just it, and the greatness of this man was so revered that the Romans, when they conquered ancient Egypt, you see what I'm saying? They deified Imhotep. They deified him 2,000 years after he was passed. No, let me clear that up. I'm tired of saying 2,000 years. Damn near 3,000 years. They deified that man. The Romans deified Imhotep in the name of Asclepius. Okay? That's a fact. You can look that up. They will admit to that. The Greek god Asclepius. So when the doctor, that DJ Vlad the vampire, you understand what I'm saying, who did not understand history because he's still learning his ABCs. We got to teach these beasts. You understand what I'm saying? They ain't been taught. We got this work with the beast. We got to teach him his ABCs and shit. So when the doctors get ready to take their oath, it's called the Hippocratic Oath. It's called the Hippocratic Oath, and it says, I swear by who? Asclepius, Imhotep. They know that. That's a fact. So 3,000 years before Hippocrates, 3,000 years before Asclepius, you understand, we have the great Imhotep, the world's first, and there's many great things about it that we're going to bring up. There's many great things. Imhotep is the first physician to stand out in world history, and the earliest of whom historical details have survived. Listen to that, okay? I'm taking this from the Grand Master, Ashra Quace. You understand what I'm saying? Reports state that he treated more than 200 diseases. The great African knew the circulation of the blood 4,000 years before information about blood was known in Europe. Okay, so we dealing with something. 3 known temples were built in his honor. Now, one was in Memphis, became a famous hospital and school of medicine. Imhotep also was represented on numerous temples relating to medicine. And I seen, many of them when I was in Egypt. I saw them for myself. I seen when I was at Kamambo, which I'm about to show. Matter of fact, let's go and get off into some vision. Let's go and get off into some vision. Let's go and get off into some vision. Hold on, family. Hold on. Just hold on. We're about to get to work. Promise you that. When you're talking about these other, Enoch and all of that, all of those are nothing but mimics of the great Imhotep. Okay? All of those are nothing but mimic. And then they fraudulent on a lot of the shit that they talking about. You cannot fall off into none of that Hebrew shit because you're dealing with demonology. Let me go on and get off. Okay. Let me get to the great king. The great high priest Imhotep. All right, let me share. Here we go, y'all. Here we go. There it is right there. Now, immediately, the first thing we got to state, because this great high priest, this great physician, this great man of most ancient learning, lived around 2700 BC. Now, that's very powerful because if people, you got to be able to look at something and you got to critique it and analyze what you see. And when, as I developing my mind on ancient Egypt. I said, well, damn, you can look right in the man's lap and you see what he got. A book. Wait a minute. Listen to that. And then they'll tell you most fake Egyptologists, that's why it had to be destroyed. That's why the Medu had to be destroyed. The European interpretation of our ancient sacred symbols had to be destroyed because they was interpreting it and fictionalizing and putting in all this false information about our ancient greatness. And we had to destroy it so we could bring a clear understanding of the truth. So most times they'll tell you that the papyrus didn't come too much into existence into the new kingdom. But yet it's still Imhotep in 27. You're talking about the third dynasty. Yeah, you're talking about the third dynasty. Okay? You see right there the great, and he's black. Understand that, just like his father, Ptah, is black. Okay, that's very clear. When most people understand, and that Ptah was also represented as a little twat. Now, right here, you see, this is on Narmer's palette. Okay, now, I did Narmer about a week ago. And right here on the Narmer's palette, right here, you see that the priest on the Narmer palette got what? The cap of Ptah on. Okay, they got the cap of Ptah on. Let me show a better, right here. This is a better right here. So this is the very first king that's established in ancient Egypt. And you see one of his priests right there got the cap of Ptah on his head. So Ptah was before Egypt. He came before Egypt. And then when you look at the four Twa, who are in, because Ptah himself was a Twa. And people don't bring that out. See, because them Greeks and them goddamn freaks and the Romans, they all know who started ancient Egypt. They know that it was the little Twa. They know that when you spell Egypt, Ptah, when you spell it Egypt, all you had to do is add the AH on the end of the PT and you get Egypt, Ptah, land of the Twa. So you know who's the originators. So when we talk about the founding of ancient Egypt, you see what I'm saying? The founding of Egypt was done under the worship of this black god right here, Ptah, to the right. And then you see Imhotep to the left. Now that's very profound, and because I'm doing the shades of divinity. You understand what I'm saying? The shades of divinity, black, red, green, white, blue, and all, and breaking it down from an African perspective. Because we have been color programmed to disconnect from our own divinity. Because somehow we believe that all things in nature has one definition. You cannot look through the eyes of your oppressor and see your divinity. You cannot do that. So when we look at this great king early on, and when you see them great kings coming into Egypt, this is the God that they pray to. This black God right here. And when we talk about Ptah being the creator of the universe, see, long before the European even come into the understanding of black matter and black energy, that they say the universe is, almost 95% black matter and black energy. See, and then you look at the creator God, Ptah, who's always shown profound. There's other colors. Again, I must say, shades of divinity, where you might see Ptah blue, you might see him green, you understand? But you have to understand the shades of divinity. But his primordial and primary color is black. And when you understand the other shades of divinity, then you understand that when we say the all in all, if he's the all in all, then he represents all things in creation. So when you see the blue, that's sky. You see the blue, that's also water, because these, when you talk about blue, you're talking about the atmosphere. These is all the elements of creation. You understand what I'm saying? So in that respect, but when we talk about that over 95% of the universe is black matter and black energy, then we understand that the primordial and premier color of Ptah is black. So this is the god of Imhotep. This is the god of Narmer. This is the god of the founding fathers of ancient Egypt. When we talking about, when you look at the Great Pyramid, and nobody brings this out, and I'm sick of that, because we talking it and we ain't talking about nothing. This was the god that the Great Pyramids was built under, okay? This right here is the great god that all the Great Pyramids was built up under. This black god Ptah. And even in ancient Egypt, when Imhotep was deified, he was deified in ancient Egypt also. He became the son of this black god, Ptah, the creator god of ancient Egypt, the first supreme god of ancient Egypt. Okay, it says the third dynastic period was a time of achievement and wisdom. Imhotep was also one of the greatest sages and authors of proverbial wisdom. He produced works in medicine, architecture, and general subjects. His philosophy, let us eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die, survive in the Song of Harper. Imhotep became the patron of scribes. You see what I'm saying? So there's a very close connection between Imhotep and Tahuti. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Imhotep is the physical incarnation of Tahuti, the god, the great god of wisdom and writing and medicine and science. You understand what I'm saying? So in that respect, Imhotep is the physical incarnation of Tahuti. You understand? And Tahuti, when you start going off into the mysteries, they try to use Tahuti nonetheless in the emerald tablets of Thoth. And you see, they use that word Thoth instead of, and it's all is based on European interpretation, but the deity in which they trying to misrepresent is the Egyptian god, which is shown as the Ibis. And let me show you Tahuti. Here's Tahuti right here. There's Tahuti right there. And Tahuti from the very beginning was shown writing on a scroll. So when you talk about Peter and you're talking about the book of life and all of this is Tahuti in the judgment hall of Ma'at, writing on the book of life. You understand? As you step before the scales of Ma'at and your heart is weighed on the scales, and you have to ask those most profound questions. Have you done wrong against Ma'at? And you got 42 questions that must be answered most correctly. And if you lie, goddamn it, the scale ain't gonna lie. But Tahuti already know. He already know. He right back. He right behind you. You understand what I'm saying? Ready to check you if you didn't lie, because we already got it on record. So that's the book of life. And so here come. This is where they mimicked and stole from to create the book of life that is supposedly in the hands of St. Peter at the gates of heaven, okay? Which ain't no nigga gonna get in. If that Peter that I see up there look like Sheriff O'Reilly, if that's the goddamn Peter that's at the gates, ain't a nigga gonna get in. And no, goddamn heaven is full of crackers, okay? Because it's damn sure a nigga ain't getting in with Sheriff O'Reilly, St. Peter at the goddamn gate with the book of life, okay? Now, let me get back over here to show something so most profoundly. You understand what I'm saying? What so most profoundly is that here again, when you look at let me put this up. When you see the early Narmer's palette, I'm making the connection. Okay, I'm not just putting up and not making the connection. I'm going from dynasty to dynasty. I'm going from the first dynasty, and you see that the early Twa got on the cap of Ptah, because Ptah is shown as a Twa. Let me show you something that's going to shock you. Let me show you. Do I got it in here? I could bring, you know what? I'll make sure that the next video, because I'm making the connection, I'll make sure that I put it in there and show the people, you know, the short little toit, the short little image of Ptah. They never show Ptah in that image because that you're going to make that connection. So you see right there that the early toit wearing the cap of Ptah, and you see right there Imhotep the Great sitting there always with a scroll in his hand. Okay, Imhotep was also a grandmaster astronomer. Okay, he discovered the circumference of the earth of about 25,000 miles by studying the movement of the sun during the summer and winter solstice. He reached his deductions on the circumference of the earth hundreds of years before Athens was even in existence. Yet an Athenian named Eratosthenes is a credit with giving the world the circumference of the earth. And I don't even understand how that was even possible for people to be, you know, because we can see that our peoples is all around the goddamn earth. The goddamn, even today, we all around the earth. So that would be, you know, we know, and then you see our peoples in ships. You understand? Even our religiosity, when you look into the ceilings of Dendera, you see our deity sailing across the celestial Nile on ship that show you how far back into, you know, primordial times our people been sailing on this planet. Okay, we must also remember that the Western world did not even know the world was round until 1492. Imhotep knew the world was round approximately 4,000 years early, and into my research, even earlier than that. Even earlier than that. You understand what I'm saying? For the fact is, our people is located on damn near every continent, which means at some point in time, as they moved around the earth in a navigating on a circular level, you understand that they would run into the same continents, the same cities by going, you know, in a continual progressive state around the planet. It come to a point where they ran back into the people on that, you know, where the spot where they first left. Okay, so they knew that the earth was round. They knew that they was moving in a circular or a circumnavigational, direction. Okay, that's how they knew. You understand? If you run into, you say, God damn, I was going west till I came around east. And then I was going east till I came back around west from the point where I started from. Okay, that's how they knew. So, you know, and so the European was just coming up out the goddamn cave in 1492 talking about he'll sell off the side of the goddamn earth. He didn't know it was that the earth was round, and he didn't even know how many goddamn land masses was on the planet. You understand what I'm saying? Until after the Africans showed him, and then even the Africans one navigated his ass over here. And I wish we wouldn't have never done no shit like that. Okay? And so we talking about the great Imhotep. Now, this is the pyramid. Now, also, when you look here, and you bring it down here, you see that this is also a blueprint. You're talking about a blueprint, an architectural blueprint that he used to build this pyramid right here. The first stone structure in human history. The step pyramid of Saqqara was built by the Grand Master Architect for the Sultan Zolja around 2668, 2649 BC. Okay? And it's still standing today. God damn it. And if the beast don't go over there with his sinister ass and do nothing to it, it's going to be standing longer than any other goddamn structure on the planet at this time. You understand what I'm saying? So when we talk about eternity, you know, the Egyptians built for eternity. This is what they, you know, when you love your deity, you love yourself, you love your people, this is how you build. You know, a slave would never build with this type of ingenuity. You understand? These were people believing and worshiping a God in whom they love. And so when they constructed these structures, they constructed it with the love and the formation of eternal thought. They wanted this to be here forever for the world to know. You understand that this is the God of gods. You understand this is ancient Egypt. And when we put something down, God damn it, it's forever. You go anywhere else where you got slaves and you got people that are not spiritually in tune to their divinity, and everybody not divine. African people are divine. We're directly connected to the cosmos and to the creator. And we are the chosen. We chose to be first, and everything else is whatever it is, it ain't us. Okay, I don't want to say what it is, but I know what it ain't. Okay, it ain't us. And so you see right here, the great God, Ptah, this was the great God under the worship at this time, that when this first pyramid was built by Imhotep, the great God, the black, and you see him right here in gold. Now here, he's symbolic of what? He's symbolic of the sun. He's also symbolic of the sun. You understand what I'm saying? Gold in ancient Egypt was symbolic of the sun. And so you see the blue cap, and that's symbolic of what? That's symbolic of the sky, the atmosphere, to show that he was a solar deity, that he was a cosmic deity. You understand what I'm saying? So he's shown black. Yeah, he's also shown gold. You understand? Also shown blue. Now, when you come into this structure, before you get to the pyramid, you see these are the oldest columns on the planet. Did anybody tell y'all that? That these right here, the columns, this is when you go into the pyramid complex. Okay, you see right there, now these is fluted columns. Okay, now you talking about, they got enough nerve to call the Greek columns Doric columns. If you go to Greece, they say these are Doric. The motherfucker ain't no Doric, no Greece or nothing. This right here is the fluted columns. If you go look it up and you look up Doric columns, you'll see this is where the Greek got his goddamn columns from. Sick of this shit. We got to wake up. We got to quit letting these people steal our history. So now, do it look like they just beginning? If these are the oldest at 3,000, do it look like they just beginning? You understand what I'm saying? These are very profound columns that most civilizations can't even put up to goddamn day, let alone yesterday. You see what I'm saying? So we see right here, this is all of the great master architect. You understand? Imhotep. Go back to him so I can show you. It all go back to this great king. And when you come through, this is coming through. When you get to the other side, this is how I look from that perspective, to show you these great columns that was constructed by the architect Imhotep. Now, if you look, before you even go through these columns, you got to go through this ceremonial entrance to the pyramid complex. Now, I showed y'all from Narmer. I'm showing y'all, Narmer is the first king of Egypt, and you can go look on the Narmer's palette, which is the oldest historical document of ancient Egypt. Okay, I got it right here. So I show, if you go look it up on the video about Narmer, the first king of Egypt, or the founding, right here, you will see on his palette, if you look right here, if you look right there in the middle between the two cows, which is the African goddess Heru, you will see the symbol of the Egyptian temple. Okay, and if you come over here and look, you will see that is the same structural design at the pyramid of Saqqara. So I'm making a connection with the first dynasty with the third dynasty, and showing you that this is one people, and that you got to understand before, and even though this is the oldest, when we talk about the pyramid of Saqqara, we're talking about the old. You can see right there, they're not beginning because the structural architectural design was already present, hear me out, in the first dynasty. You see what I'm saying? So we know we're not just just getting started. This is on before the Egypt even existed. I got to talk to y'all. Wait a minute. Let me show y'all so y'all can understand this clearly once again. See, these are what you call the districts of ancient Egypt and Ethiopia. I must state that. Because when you look to you got 42, and that's being in conjunction with Maya. You got 42 districts or counties of ancient Egypt. Now, if you look to the left, you will see 42 Nomi. That's Upper Egypt. But before there was Egypt came into existence, that was Ethiopia. There was no Egypt, okay? Now, when you look to the right, you see the 20 districts or counties of Lower Egypt, which is really truly Egypt. That was what they considered Egypt until, the Egyptian kings began to conquer up and take land from Nubia and how you redistrict counties to Egypt. Okay, but the early to the left, though, that's Ethiopia. You count down from the beginning of the river, showing you where the Africans are coming from. They're not coming from outside of Egypt. You can see one was Seti. That's down by Aswan. Okay, Aswan, Philae Island. You understand? That's Nubia. Okay, number 2. And then 3 is Nikan, which they call Hierapolis. That's where Narmer, the first king of ancient Egypt, came from. He came from. So if he's the first king, wait a minute. And when we talk about the first capital of ancient Egypt was Memphis, he is the one that created Memphis. And one of his names was also Mena. And so this is Mena or Narmer is one of the earliest kings who founded Memphis. There is no Egypt before Memphis because Memphis is the first capital of ancient Egypt. So all that below what you see in Memphis on the left, 22 down to 1, that's Ethiopia. That's ancient Ethiopia. And because there were foreigners that came upon the land, they came down to colonize the rest of their land and put administration on it because they had so much fertile land up the river, it wasn't really necessary to colonize this land at the time or put administration. But with foreigners coming in, they also understood that this was one of the most fertile regions in the whole world. So they started coming in, setting up on the land and even, and staging attacks on the Africans up the river. So they knew at that time they had to come down there, set up administration, set up districts to colonize foreigners coming in from off the Mediterranean, put up forts and put military down there to keep the foreigners from coming from out of what you call the Middle East. And so this is why Egypt was necessary. But it was not just beginning with Egypt. The civilization was already up the river. Okay? We got to understand that. Okay? We got to understand that. And so with this is a picture, and I seen the statue of Mena. I seen this in the British Museum, if I'm not mistaken. Okay? If it wasn't in the British, it was in I got pictures of it. My own pictures of it. And the man looked just like Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? Looked like a young Mike Tyson. And then when you see heads, you understand where the Olmecs got their understanding and skills of how to build large heads of granite like that. Okay? And so we come back down and show you Imhotep, coming in at let me get on down here to Imhotep. And you see right here, now, this is coming from Renoko Rashidi. And he's reported that this is Imhotep's mother. Okay? This is Imhotep's mother right here. That's very profound. That's very profound. See her right there with the dread. See her in her, and when we talk about statues of ancient Egypt, black is the primordial color of damn near all the pharaohs and all the great queens. You understand? Because black is the highest shade of divinity. There's many shades of divinity, but they ranked and rank, and not just rank, but each has its specific, you know what I'm saying, representation of the cosmos. And all are very necessary to explain the all in all. But the primordial and most divine color or shade of divinity was black without question. So this is Imhotep's mother right there. And that's and a lot of people don't talk about that she was also a physician. Okay? Now, I've also been here, to Komombo, the Temple of Komombo. Komombo, Komombo, if you want to look it up. Now, on that temple, that's a double temple. It's two gods. So Sobek, and I think the other god might have been Horus or Heru. So it was a double temple. Okay? And you go into the Holy of Holies, all the way in the back of the temple, you will see the medical instruments. That's very profound. That's very profound. You understand? You see the medical instruments of Imhotep. Now, next time I'm gonna show you. They cut his head off. You can still see his body, but when I get a chance, I'm gonna go over this again with you and show you all of the different medical instruments that's still used today. That's still used. You see the cups. You see the different scissors. And all type of, I'm not into, but I've seen people break it down and pinpoint all the sponges at the bottom. Now, what you look right there, I blew it up, is where, like when the doctor washes his hands, but it's also a divine sistrum. And this is used today in the Catholic Church for what they call the holy water font, where you go in the church and get your holy water, or where they perform the baptism. I'm going to show you this. So today, you can see this is the holy, where they perform a baptism, or where they put the holy water for the parishioners that come in. You might want to dip your little glass bottle in there, get you some holy water. You see what I'm saying? This later became, the baptismal. Okay, this later became the baptismal. And you see them right there where they baptizing, you understand, they babies, and but it's all come back to Imhotep, the great Imhotep. You see what I'm saying? Right here, and you can go to Komombo and see this. So not only did this man build the oldest stone structure and to the left, you see right there the goddess Seti. And she's about to give birth to Heru. She's about to give birth to the living Christ, Heru. You see the throne is on her head. That's how you know it's Seti. She's in the squatting position. That's how the African women gave birth in the ancient time. You understand what I'm saying? Gravity pulling the baby down. Today, is vice versa. You know what I'm saying? A lot of women are going back to that. Don't make it right or wrong, but the other is European, and we didn't know no better. But if we go back to the walls, we see that our sister squatted. You know what I'm saying? Because gravity, it was, help pull the baby down. Okay? And so you see Imhotep is right there, ready to give birth, help give birth to Seti and the sacred living Christ, Heru. And you see, in case he need to perform, with this problem with the baby coming out, what they call a cesarean, or where they cut the stomach open, and so he's right there ready, just in case. She need, some medical assistance. So so this great man, high priest, is not only a scientist, he's not only an astronomer, he's not only a architect, he's also a physician of great note. So there's no other man on the planet. We're talking about a real, so he became a deity. He wasn't of royal blood, but he became a Christ figure, a real man that became a living Christ figure on the planet, to where, the Romans would come almost 3,000 years after he died and made him a god. Okay? Imhotep was one of the most talented men known the world has ever known. Yet to this day, the doctors take the Hippocratic oath, never knowing that Hippocrates was not the father of medicine. The African Imhotep was the father of medicine, as well as leader in architecture, religion, and writing. You understand what I'm saying? So people got to wake up. We got to wake up. All that Enoch and Melchizedek and all of that, whatever, all of that is a plagiarization of the great man Imhotep, Solomon, the mystery. All of that is nothing but a plagiarization of the great master of all times, Imhotep. You need to go back and do some extra research on this. I will be coming back, because there's only so much information that you can give in an allotted time. So today we're dealing with the immortal Imhotep, god of architecture, medicine, astronomy, writing, the physical incarnation of the great god, Tahuti, the son of the eternal black god, Ptah, coming up out of the central regions of Africa, where the shore from the Congo around the Great Lakes region, showing when he took on the worship of Ptah, he knew where his origins was from. He knew he was from that bloodline of the early little Twa, the seed people on this planet that populate all over the planet, but people do not want to give the true understanding of how ancient our people are. So family, I want to thank y'all for coming out on this topic today. Let me come on back in. Let me come up back on in. Want to thank y'all for coming out. And like I said, I'm going to be touching on ancient, just like last time, how I touched back on Narm. You know what I'm saying? And making the connection and showing y'all the Nomi. Just look it up, Nomes. Look at the Nomi of ancient Egypt. Look at the lower Egypt, look at the upper region. And you see that the upper region existed before the lower region. And just like the great scholar Chancellor Williams told us, there is no Egypt before Memphis. And so you see Memphis was the first Nomi of lower Egypt. But you see all the other 22 Nomis existed before Memphis, which means that all of that was in existence before Egypt. That's why when Egypt comes into existence, it's fully developed. It's already fully developed. Everything is already, the crowns, the structure of Pharaoh, the government, the navy, all of that was already profoundly in existence. The language, you see Imhotep already with blueprints, already with books, and they try to tell us we didn't have no books into the new kingdom. Lies. We got to wake up today. We're ancient people. We got Alzheimer's disease. We're in a slumber where we've been hit over the head and knocked out. And when we waking up, you know how you're dizzy. You can't see straight. But we got to shake up out of this. We got to come to our clear understanding of who we are. There's only one way that we could go, and that's up. Okay? We can't be stuck with the information of the past. You see what I'm saying? It's kept us here long enough. The only way we can move out of is to change the fucking information. If you continue with the same old information and not change the information in our movement. Not just and our movement. You understand what I'm saying? And get back on the path of greatness. Your ancestors showing you the way. Go back. just like Imhotep. Look at the blueprint. It's already been laid out for you, baby. It's already been laid out. Okay, family, I'm about to move on to the next subject. Very profound subject. Just warming up today. Won't be long on each video. You understand? 45 minutes moving on. Got a lot of information. Got to wake the family up. We can't be moving slow either. So give me 5 minutes. Come black and join me on the next video where we talking about a very profound subject. When we talk about Adam and Eve, we're talking about vampirism, and we're talking about what did I say? The solar destruction of the European race. This has been foretold since the ancient days. And that's why the scrolls had to be misinterpreted. So you would not know this. But once you know this and you go back to your soul, and I'm going to end on it. The one thing about solar divinity, it clearly shows you who to chose and who to curse. That's it. When you understand that God is the Son, and that's what the Bible teaches, that God is the Son, and it shows that, and I'm going to get off in, and when you understand that God is the Son, and you get back to your solar divinity, it'll clearly show you who chose and who cursed. And that right there is damn near 85% of the blueprint. Because when you understand that and make your movements around that, you're going to see greater success in our nation and our people than you ever seen before. All right, family, this is the general. Let me go on back here to my chat. Let me go on back here to my chat. Let me get back up here to my chat. Thank you, family, for your support. I'll be right back. Give me 5 minutes. It don't stop. Okay? We on 24 hours a motherfucking day. We don't go to sleep at the BPC. All right, family, I love you. This is the General Seti saying, hey, arm yourself with knowledge. Bang on that wicked-ass beast daily. Liberation through African education and confrontation. Black Pop.